From bits to bytes, A to Z, Bombay to LA, two different west coasts of two very, very active democracies. We want to bring you the best of tech from around the world. That's what we strive to do on Tech Today. So be it the latest iMacs, are they a bang for your buck? Or what on earth is happening with OpenAI and Microsoft? Also, what can you really do to ensure that you are not the victim of fake news and you can really tell what's real and what's not? It's going to be an action-packed episode of Tech Today covering the whole gamut. And I'm your host, Aayush Ailawadi. Let's begin. Here you go, the new iMac with M3 here in the Tech Today studios. Now, the unboxing process was quite an intricate one. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe not my bad acting. Well, it was bad acting because I enjoyed every minute of it personally, and it wasn't that heavy. That box seemed heavy, but once you actually unbox it, this, the Magic Keyboard, which is a work of art, is perhaps lighter than the granola bar I have in the morning. The Magic Mouse and the trackpad are also very light. And this, the iMac display, is under 4.5 kilos, under 5 kilos. That means that this can be the ideal desktop computer in your living room when you're sharing it with the kids. A family computer, maybe even in your kitchen, maybe in your bedroom. 24 inches of pure beauty. You get it in 7 colors. This one, of course, is this golden sort of yellow. True tone technology from Apple, so the display, the colors are very vivid, the saturation is just about right, but it also comes with 500 nits of brightness. Now, if you were to compare this to a high-end gaming monitor, maybe on paper, it doesn't sound that impressive. But if you have it in the flesh, like we do over here in the Tech Today studio, this device performs really well. I've been watching a lot of content on it, movies as well. It has 6 speakers right over here, a 1080p FaceTime camera, which can do all sorts of cool things. And this really does get the job done. But this particular device has performed really well when it comes to gaming. And that is a big push by Apple as well, because at the heart of it is M3. And this is a little different, although it looks exactly the same as the previous iMac from 2021. A lot of people aren't happy about some of the design upgrades which never happened. For instance, the chin over here, but that could have been something they could have worked on. And this white bezel has been spoken about a lot. Now, when it comes to consuming content on the new iMac, you have these 6 downward-facing speakers and 2 force-cancelling woofers. Fairly decent audio, but you can use the 4 ports at the back. There's 2 USB 3 ports and 2 of them on this particular variant with Thunderbolt functionality right here. They've not done much around. There's a headphone jack on the right side. But remember, if you're using these new iMacs, they do come with Dolby Atmos spatial audio support when you're using Apple TV and Apple Music. So that can be quite an interesting experience with this family computer. Now, we know that the unboxing experience with Apple products is always a very premium one, but I thoroughly enjoyed unboxing this because there's so many goodies coming out of this top spec iMac setup. I'll tell you a little bit about what came out of the box. Was this particular Magic Keyboard. It comes with Touch ID, and that's an absolute game changer because you can switch profiles. Maybe your kids want to use it, your sister wants to use it, your wife wants to use it, your mom wants to use it. You can do that via Touch ID, different profiles, authenticate purchases as well. It's really embedded and integrated into the keyboard very well. It's very light as well, but given it's 2023 and iPhones now come with USB-C ports, one thing worth mentioning, the first time I'm going to say this, is that this is charged using a lightning cable. Now, when you're talking about this particular trackpad, I think this is a game changer. I've been using this to edit content, which this can do to no end. It can take several streams of 4K content, do all sorts of things with ProRes video. So what's the other thing that Apple's put in the box with this color coordinated set? Well, it is a USB-C to lightning cable. Now, when you talk about the iMac by itself, it houses the M3. The M3 is no joke. Now, the M3, which is the first Apple silicon based on a 3-nanometer architecture, that is mind-boggling in terms of how small and how much stuff they've packed into that tiny real estate, well, is what this particular device is powered by. It's compact, it is very, very slim, and it can go to most places that my MacBook 16-inch can go as well within a house or a studio. Now, I told you about the editing capabilities, tossing in all those graphics and multiple streams of 4K, but that won't be everyone's use case. You could take the base model, which is a lot cheaper, and you could get the job done as a family computer. It's still running on M3. The only problem is with 256 GB of storage or a lower storage variant option, you will be yearning for more space. So that's the real trick. Apple gives you all the basics, but then you're tempted to upgrade. This one is the high-spec version. In terms of storage, it's 2 terabytes and 24 gigs of memory. But the M3 by itself, let me give you some numbers, is scary fast. That's what they call their VIN. Compared to the M1. Now, the iMac was last available in the M1 chip. The M2, which came out the last year, we didn't see an iMac with it, of course. So it's a leapfrog the M series straight to the M3. So even Apple is comparing the M3 to the M1. Is there an apples and apples or an apples and orange comparison? But let me tell you in pure numbers what your daily computing tasks would look like. If you're going to be making spreadsheets for your boss on Excel, it will be 30% faster than the M1, any M1 device you have. If you're talking about using your browser, maybe Safari, again 30% faster. If you're talking about using Photoshop or a video editing tool, iMovie or maybe FCP, it'll be twice as fast in terms of editing, rendering, and that sort of performance. Basically, if you take an M3 iMac and you put it up against an M1 iMac from a couple of years ago, it'll look exactly the same. But when it has to perform, this guy will perform twice as fast. That's 2x as fast. And that just shows how technology has been growing exponentially. So as we wrap it all up, we'll need to tell you the price, and that's where it gets most confusing. So you might want to put on your seatbelts and get some coffee for this, because the base model of the iMac is 1,35,000 rupees. But then I'll tell you how that spectrum goes to the other end with this one, which is all the bells and whistles, 2 terabyte of storage, 24 gigs of memory. This one goes up to nearly 2,85,000 rupees. But why the discrepancy? The base model will come with an 8-core CPU, an 8-core GPU, 8 gigs of unified memory, and 256 GB of storage. With this particular device, if you're using it just to browse around and maybe use everything on the cloud, you can get away with it. But it's capable of so much more, so you might need to go for a mid-spec variant. Obviously, the base model will only come with a Magic Keyboard. You wouldn't get some of the other accessories. You need to pay for each thing. So there is a mid-spec variant within the lineup as well, which costs 1,75,000 rupees. It comes with an 8-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, 512 gigs of storage, so that's double the storage, and it comes with 8 GB of unified memory. What's good about that is that you get this particular display, gigabit Ethernet, which is in the power cable itself, and a Magic Keyboard with Touch ID. So all in all, if you pick the right variant, bump up the RAM, you have an ideal family computer which you can drag to the bedroom, to the kitchen, or keep in the hall for the family to use. The new iMac 2023 with the powerful, mighty M3 chipset inside, exclusively here on Tech Today. The one man who seems to have grabbed all the headlines this week happens to be a gentleman named Sam Altman. Is he the CEO of OpenAI? Does he work for Microsoft? Is he doing something on his own? Will he? Won't he? Was he fired? Is he back? The return? It's been very confusing, and if you're confused, then we're in the same boat. So we thought here on Tech Today, we should just get the timeline together and explain the saga as it unfolded. Here's a Tech Today special report, or should we call it the OpenAI of Thrones.
Over the past few days, one of the world's most high-profile artificial intelligence companies, OpenAI, witnessed a massive shakeup that startled the entire tech world. Well, the turmoil seems to have now dialed down, but this surely will go down as one of the most dramatic series of events to ever take place on Silicon Valley weekend. Let me bring you up to speed to exactly what happened. It all started November 17th. OpenAI's co-founder, President Greg Brockman's post sent shockwaves across the industry when he revealed that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman had been fired from the company by the board members on a Google Meet call. This was later confirmed by Altman himself. Now, without stating any concrete reason, the board said that Altman was not candid enough with his communications with the board members, and that's why the board members no longer had confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. This sent many into a frenzy, quite naturally, including the OpenAI investors themselves, as Altman is regarded by many as one of the main faces or the poster child, if I may say, of AI revolution. The next day, many stakeholders, including Microsoft, which had invested over $13 billion in the AI company, urged the board to bring Altman back. Even after furious negotiations, OpenAI's co-founder and chief scientist, Ilya Sutskever, clarified that the board will really do no such thing. They wanted him out. He claimed that it was necessary to protect OpenAI's mission of making AI beneficial to humanity, precisely the words used. Then Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announced that Sam Altman will now be working with Microsoft as a lead for an advanced AI research lab. Basically, Microsoft wanted him on board with them. Sam Altman also expressed excitement. He was all set to start off with Microsoft, saying that, well, this is mission accomplished. This created anger and panic at OpenAI. Over 550 employees out of the 700 signed a letter saying that they might just quit if at all Sam Altman is not in the company, and more importantly, if the board members who sacked Sam Altman, they themselves resign. Many employees even showed support for Sam Altman by posting OpenAI's Nothing Without Its People on the X account, trying to show and pour support for Sam Altman. Microsoft even welcomed many of those employees who were bitter in OpenAI, saying that we're opening doors for you, open arms, we welcome you if you want to join us. Microsoft gave them a word to rope them in, give them jobs, and even match their compensation. After that dramatic 5-day standoff, the secret boardroom coup was overturned, and it was then announced that Sam Altman now would be back to OpenAI as a CEO once again. The ChatGPT-maker also announced new board members, giving in to the pressure from investors and employees. Basically, he sacked all the existing board members who had fired him and brought his own people. While it now looks like the drama has toned down a bit, the big question here is, why did it even happen in the first place? While many are speculating that this was all because of a power struggle within the company, others believe that this has more to do with the ideologies as to how AI should grow and progress in the future, while focusing mainly on the safety aspect of it as much as it benefits. While internal battles at OpenAI are worthy of a Hollywood script, undoubtedly, the competition outside now has become so fierce. As ChatGPT now struggles with growth, Google, on its part, has leveled up with Bard. But when it comes to all of us, one thing's certain here, AI revolution has only just begun. There's a lot more to dive into. We've just about started.
You know, I've always wondered, we speak so much about artificial intelligence here on the network, on Tech Today, your favorite technology show, but how many of you have actually experimented with AI? Are you using ChatGPT, Bard or other services, or even personal assistants like Alexa, or are these great marketing moves by big tech companies? That's what we want to get to the bottom of. Have you even heard of a Sam Altman who now, well, hopefully heads OpenAI and will be spearheading, well, one of the guys spearheading the AI revolution? What's the awareness like here in India? Here's a Tech Today report by Tech Today's Priya Singh.
The past week at OpenAI played out like a movie script. But whilst we were covering a lot of tech drama, how does it really affect the lives of a regular consumer? Are they aware of AI in general? Are they using ChatGPT or Google Bard? Or are they yet to latch onto the AI bandwagon? Let's find out. Do you use ChatGPT or Bard?
I use ChatGPT.
I use ChatGPT, but I don't use Bard.
I use ChatGPT only.
So do you think it's reliable enough?
Not 100%, but yeah, 70 to 80% the info is reliable, but we do have to have some common sense in it.
Do you know who Sam Altman is?
I think he's the CEO of ChatGPT, right? I know that he joined Microsoft and then he sort of came back. So that's a whole different corporate politics and all of that involved. Yeah, what I'm interested in is what he actually created, ChatGPT.
Do you know about Sam Altman?
Yeah, he's the founder and he just got fired lately. Yeah, that's.
Did you follow the drama that happened recently?
I mean, there are many theories that there was some power struggle or he's done. But the thing that's sure is he must have done something serious because he got fired. But I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I am aware that he was fired from the board of ChatGPT and Microsoft hired them. Again, now he is with ChatGPT and now the board is entirely different. So this kind of issue is there.
There's a whole lot of drama that happened recently.
Yeah. So ChatGPT is one of the things that it is one of the talking point, and you know people want someone like Sam in their board. So yeah.
Well, it looks like ChatGPT has become a big thing. Almost everyone in the tech community is using it. But we can't say the same thing about the whole Sam Altman drama. Over to you, Aayush.
Fun fact, WhatsApp has over 500 million users here in India alone. Telegram has also recently gotten very popular, especially with the tech community, startup founders, Web3, blockchain, and the like. Now, if you imagine the amount of information that's being accessed on these platforms, there's also a lot of misinformation and disinformation, fake news as well. We're heading towards an election year. This can be a matter of grave concern. So how do you fight this menace? Using technology. Tech Today's Danny D'Cruz gives you all the tips and tricks to make sure that you are alert and, of course, well informed when it comes to dealing with this sort of misinformation.
You and I might occasionally get very annoyed with these WhatsApp group notifications and pings. But we have to acknowledge the fact that around 50 crore users have WhatsApp in their phones. And a lot of these users have it to get all the latest news and information. But there's one important concern about this. It also leads to the spread of fake news and misinformation. And with the upcoming elections, it becomes all the more important for us to distinguish what is real and what is fake. So I'm here to help you evoke your inner Sherlock Holmes and tell you how to bust real from fake. Now let's start with something really simple. Now every time someone sends a forwarded message to you on WhatsApp, there'll be a small label on top of the text saying forwarded. Now these are messages that are not written or composed by your friends or contacts. These are messages that have been just forwarded to you. And there's another kind of forwarded messages. You'll get a label saying forwarded many times. These are the ones that you have to be very wary of. It's very important to scan these messages and verify them on time so that you don't take part in spreading misinformation and fake news. So this takes us to the next point. How do you find out which message is actually fake? So let's understand this with an example. Say you get a WhatsApp message saying that an AI robot has been created that can end the human race. And it seems believable with all that is happening around us. But it's your job to independently verify the sources. So all you have to do is go to a search engine, say like Google, and just type in the keywords, in this case, dangerous AI robot. And if you see links from trusted sources, that means it is real. And if not, there is a high chance that that is a fake message. Now there's another tip that you can use to identify fake messages. So you just have to look for mistakes, grammatical mistakes. These could be very fine and very rare, but these can help you decide if it is really fake or not. All you have to do is check the text and check the URL shared in that text. If you find any mistake, there is a high chance that it is fake. Now, another interesting way to verify a piece of information is WhatsApp channels. The company has partnered with around 10 independently working fact-checking websites, and these websites provide services in 13 different languages. All you have to do is follow these popular websites to get all the latest information. You can also follow the India Today fact-checking channel on WhatsApp to get all the latest news. Now, say you have spotted a fake message or a fake information. What do? Now, if it's coming from an unknown message, you'll have the option to either block it or report it, or even block and report it. All you have to do is report it to WhatsApp and they will take the further action. Now that you're equipped with such information, it's your responsibility to spread it and also verify each and every message before forwarding it. And stay tuned to Tech Today for such interesting tips and tricks.
Yet another action-packed episode of Tech Today draws to a close. From the latest gadgets to what's happening in the Sam Altman OpenAI saga. As we record this, he is the CEO of OpenAI with a new board. What happens over the weekend? Well, you need to stay tuned to Tech Today and on our social media platforms to find out. That's not all. We've also told you how do you spot what's fake news and what's not in this WhatsApp university era that we live in. We've really enjoyed putting the show together. We hope you've enjoyed watching the show across our platforms. I'm your host, Aayush Ailawadi, from the Tech Today universe, saying thank you so much for watching. Until next week, adios.